Tuned in, the signal's clear. Coming through Geocache Talk. A voice on the line I hear. Coming through Geocache Talk.
Embark on a breathtaking 12-night journey with the Worldwide Cache Cruise and get ready to experience the best of Northern Europe in unparalleled style and comfort. Your adventure begins in Amsterdam, a city of picturesque canals and rich history. Explore its vibrant streets, visit world-renowned museums, and indulge in the local cuisine. Aboard our luxurious cruise ship, every detail is crafted for your comfort and enjoyment. From gourmet dining and yes, John, there's pizza, so don't fret. Enjoy soothing spa treatments. Your days at sea promise relaxation and fun. In Oslo, let the Vigeland Sculpture Park captivate your imagination. Or explore the historic Viking Ship Museum. We also sail to Skagen, Denmark, the northernmost town on the Skagen-Odde Peninsula. Next, it's Stockholm, the Venice of the North, with its stunning archipelago and historic old town. But that's not all. This stop is extra special. We're on a mission to find the legendary fourth loop of the Jasmer Challenge, GC4D, the Match Stash. This is the oldest active geocache in Sweden and the second oldest in Europe. It's still maintained by its original owner. Then, it's on to Tallinn, a hidden gem with medieval streets and timeless charm. In Helsinki, discover a blend of Eastern and Western influences. Visit the bustling market square and the serene Suomenlinna Sea Fortress. Copenhagen awaits with its iconic Little Mermaid statue and colorful Nyhavn district. Back on board, swap stories with fellow geocachers. Enjoy Broadway-style shows, engaging activities, and dazzling nightlife. As the sun sets on our Scandinavian adventure, breathe in the crisp sea air and cherish the memories. With the Worldwide Cache Cruise, we're not just taking a vacation. We're geocaching and collecting experiences that will last a lifetime. Contact us at geocachetalk@gmail.com.
Calling all geocachers. At artedcrafted.com, we create unique apparel designed by geocachers for geocachers. From custom t-shirts to personalized mugs, our gear lets you express your passion. Stand out at your next event with artedcrafted.com. artedcrafted.com. Gear up for your next geocaching adventure.
Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine Write in the Rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's logwerk.com.
Big thanks to our new patrons, Data Wrangler, Old Bowler, Lost Kin, Whidbey Island Gal, Caching Karma, returning patron Soccer Kicks, and Handyman 43701. Thank you to all our patrons for keeping the show on the air, all our shows on the air, because we are back with Gadget Talk, and we've got Pizza Talk coming, maybe, I don't know, Puzzle Talk, we've got Challenge Talk. This is great, and y'all are doing a great job keeping all these shows going, so you never know. So John, there's always a possibility. Let me get bring him in.
Oh,
bring him
works. There he is. He's back.
I'm excited.
Jesse was with us, and then he wasn't with us, and now he's back with us.
Hey, I had to switch computers and everything within about 3 minute span. That worked out pretty good.
You did fabulous.
Man, that was
my daughter allowed me to use her computer, which was made like within this decade, so it's pretty good.
Oh, nice. Oh, very nice of her.
Mine was not,
So,
but that's okay.
Well, it was nice of her to volunteer to help.
Yeah, it's nice and shiny and new. This is like the webcam. Wow.
Ooh,
They really
that's
advanced these
nice.
computers. That's
Ooh.
amazing.
She may
I was
not
going
get
to
her
say
laptop.
you sound really good, Jesse.
Yeah,
That's just me.
it's perfect. So I don't know. It's unconfirmed, but I mean, there's always a possibility, I guess. But I don't.
Gary,
I don't.
Gary, it is happening.
I heard we were doing Adventure Lab talk.
No, that is false. That is false.
What about reverse where I go talk?
No.
Not
Waymark
yet.
talk. Waymark
Not-
talk. That's what we're doing.
Not
It's
yet,
Waymark
but
talk. Everybody wants to do it.
yeah.
It's a whole side of the game we don't talk about. It's Waymark talk. Everybody wants it.
Waymark
It's
talk.
Pizza Talk, man. Pizza Talk is happening on Tuesday. And I
Wow.
can see folks are excited on here. We got K-Blast on here. Pizza Talk. Heck yeah, man. It's going on. And
Wow.
yeah. And people are
I-
excited. I've already received quite a few messages from people being like, I'm excited Pizza Talk is happening. You know, and for me, like this is an idea I've been working on for like how many years now, Pizza Talk. So
Oh,
I mean, for
yeah.
finally coming to fruition,
Couple years.
it is
at
going to be
least.
incredible. I'll tell you that. We got prizes, we got good pizza puzzles. Like I can't spill the beans on everything, but there's a lot of cool things coming.
Jesse, I don't know. I'm looking. I think I'm busy that night, but y'all have fun with that. So,
Oh man,
Waymark
Gary,
talk.
it is going to be a blast. Absolute blast on here.
All right.
Yeah.
Bench
Bell on the move.
talk.
That's right, sir. I want it to be so good. It's 4 slices.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Andrew, look at Bell on the move with the pizza emojis. Wow.
You notice he only
That's-
gave it 3 out of 5. Just
Yeah, he
gonna throw it out there.
gave it three
Whoa,
pizza
whoa,
emojis.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
That's
whoa.
embarrassing for you.
Yeah.
No, people are gonna love it, man. And sorry,
We will
Gary.
see.
I,
We will
I
see.
know Pizza Talk hasn't been the thing
Mm.
that you've really been behind, but I appreciate the whole network coming together to provide the authorization for this project to move forward.
Oh my goodness. I
Are you
mean,
craving cheesy goodness? It's time for Pizza Talk. Whether you're at your local
oh no, we're not doing
the
pizza.
ratings
talk
are
right
in. Look at all those slices from K-Blast. Man,
now.
He doesn't know how to count, though. There's no rating
the
scale
chart.
with that many on it.
off the charts, man.
Unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
I don't even want to. All right. Enough
So
of
sad.
that.
This is
Enough.
what happens. This is right before pod fade. Pizza Talk is pod fade. That's what I see.
That's
Pizza
right.
Talk is not jumping the shark, Jesse.
Yes, I think it is.
Gone.
Now
That
we're
would
gonna start
be
having
Vertigo Talk,
crossover
man.
episodes and
Oh,
celebrities
my.
on and stuff like that. That signals the end.
No.
Oh my
no.
gosh.
It's just
All
a
right.
new chapter, man.
Let's do this. Quick
Sure.
item on Worldwide Cash Cruise. Again, if you want information, just email us at geocachetalk@gmail.com and I'll send you the information.
Mhm.
We have also, you don't have to be in it, but we do have a private Facebook group if you want to interact and find out information that way. Otherwise, I'll email folks the information. If you send us, your interest, then I've got you on a list. There hasn't been really a lot. I get you the basic information. The biggest thing is just getting a room. Get a
Mhm.
room, and
That's right.
and
Good word of wisdom right there.
Yeah.
we are. It's one of those weird things where 400 days out or something. But the main thing is just to secure your room, get a full deposit placed. Obviously, you got to pick a room, and you need to. I know it's weird that people are like, "It's so far out." It's like, well,
Yes, not with international cruising. It's not.
Yeah.
Well, and
then
for the people that aren't like
Yeah.
going on the cruise because it just doesn't work out for them or whatever else,
Yep.
you won't hear this much longer because if for the people that have been checking, the
Mhm.
rooms are selling out, so they're almost all booked. So if you're kind of on the
Yep.
borderline, get it now. What do they say? Speak now, forever hold your peace. because they're going to be booked up soon. And there's already certain room types that are already booked up. So if you're getting in, get in now. And then, well, that'll be it for now. And then about a year out, we'll start doing a bunch more, but we won't do that on the show every show. We'll be talking about offline about a lot of this stuff. And there'll be lots of planning that goes on behind the scenes, and we'll have tons of video and stories to tell afterwards too. So it seems like it's a long way away, but it really won't be. It'll be here in no time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those weird things. You get all that and a lot of people now, and we're providing some, like I said, I've got a playlist of YouTube videos if you want to watch that are they're basic, but they're like, if you've never been on a cruise, here's what you might want to pack. And, things that you don't normally think about if you've never been on a cruise, but it's like, regardless of the size of your cabin or which one you pick, they're not all, you're not talking about some sort of grand, unless you get the like really expensive ones, but you're not getting some grand suite. So you have to think about, okay, I can't bring, or you need to pack strategically. So there's some of those videos. Mm-hmm. There's some videos about, that we're putting in this playlist about this places we're going. And so you're like, oh, I never thought about that. Maybe I want to put that on my own agenda, because, Viking Museum is on my list of things I want to do, but not everybody. Everybody want to do their own thing, but it's nice to kind of see options. So
right. Well, the Cheese Whiz Museum is a big one that's over there. So no, it's not, but it could be. But you wouldn't know unless you've done your research. So, but we'll do a lot of that in our Facebook group. So
that's good. The Cheese Whiz.
I'd go to that. I'm sorry, I would actually go to that if that was a real thing. But
I'd probably go to it too, man.
I mean, Cheese Whiz, come on. It's a cheese food product. It's great. Cheese-like food product, I think. I don't think they can even legally call it cheese.
Probably not.
Like, I'm pretty sure it has to be like a cheese substitute or cheese product. Cheese product.
Okay.
They can't call it like just cheese. They can't do that. So,
okay.
Yeah, just like squirt cheese. Cheese is not on the ingredients at all. None at all.
Cheese, yes. So. Cheese, no.
Yeah.
So, John, you mentioned about Pizza Talk, the debut. The debut is Tuesday.
Pizza Talking. Oh man, big shout out to Happy Hodag for time to get his pizza fix on Tuesday. Absolutely.
There you go. Perfect.
Hawaiian Molly, Rhonda on that one. Pickles and pizza.
Cucumber pizza, it looks like.
Yeah, and K-Blast Cheese Whiz is good on pizza. Yeah, I mean, it is going to be amazing. I am so happy this new chapter is ready and here for the Geocache Talk.
Right. Gary and I get to retire now. We're turning it over to you.
Oh gosh. All right. Now let's move on to some really interesting news, other than whatever that was, and that is virtual reality geocaches. So you guys have the floor. Go for it.
Well, John, do you want to start because you're the creator of them? So you invented this.
So, I think, I mean, how cool for our show here, talking about like new technologies and saying like, what if in the future? And from that discussion, Jesse and I now have, we believe, the first 2 virtual reality geocaches out there in the world. And I was very happy to develop that, put mine out. People have found it. They're excited. We've already had people check it out, leave notes about saying how they love that concept. So with these VR caches, people can do it through a VR headset. They can do it through their phone. They can do it through a computer, whatever flexible source out there. And it's always interesting, reviewer versus reviewer, because I mean, my reviewer just went through and said, this is great. And I think Jesse had a little bit of a different experience with this.
Mm-hmm. Mine is still, I was trying to pull it up. Mine is still on the not found yet phase. But I guess so. Not that we're gonna spend the whole night on VR, but yeah. So I wrote mine up. You did the first one. You made it very straightforward. I did mine, increased the difficulty a little bit, and then jacked up the difficulty rating because it's a brand new cache type, right?
Yeah.
Still has not been. It just got published today. So yours got published before our last podcast.
Yep.
Mine just got published today, and that's not a negative thing on my reviewer. My reviewer said, this is something I'm not familiar with. I just want to make sure everything's right. He did the right thing, talked to HQ. HQ's took a little while to get back to him and said, yeah, we're good to go with this. Go ahead and publish it. So he did push the button and publish it. So it hasn't been found yet, but it is. So now there's 2 of them.
Yep.
And I think we've kind of touched on VR already. So I know we're not going to spend the whole night about it, but I think we've talked about doing a patron video. So not a whole regular show, but a patron video where we get on for people that are interested on how to, and kind of walk people through. If anybody want to publish one of these, we can give them the full details without everybody else doing it.
I love this shot.
Yeah, that's a screenshot from the VR.
Yeah,
I like it. So
the guy is watching us on Geocache Talk. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So Owen from KC says, "What type?" We both did ours as
Mystery.
Unknowns, but I think, John, what do you think? They could be really maybe not traditional, but they could be pretty much any other cache type.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of flexibility onto that. I think Jesse and I did it where we put a puzzle in our VR environment as a way to kind of test it out. And I know, like, for me, when I did mine, I'm like, is this going to publish? Because I thought, okay, let me do something proof of concept wise, see if it gets out there. And it went through. So I'd really say it's up to your imagination and your creativity, how you want to do it. On that one, there's just so much possibilities. And on that side too, I mean, we put out a bookmark list. We're going to meet with the patrons, hopefully get our patrons to hopefully create some other VR caches out there. So we want to help you guys do that. And from there, we really want to kind of develop, this community around VR caching from here. But yeah, that's the bookmark list. So,
and I think you could do, I don't know about traditional, right? Even though there are field puzzles on traditional, I don't know that that'd be pushing it too far, but I think I would love to see people try it of all different cache types.
Yes.
Because I have to stop myself because I've got ideas already on how to do each one of these with NFC and where I go and everything else, right? But we'll talk about that in the patron group video we got coming up. We haven't announced it yet, so we don't have a date for it. We'll do that really soon, and we can just kind of get together as a group and collaborate and help everybody walk through these. We could probably come out with 12 to 15 of those that night, ready to go if you already had a container hidden, right? So I think that'll be fun just to see a bunch of those pop up everywhere. If people are interested in future caching kind of stuff and bring something new to their area. It's new. Anybody let us know if there's one similar to this in your area. I've never seen one anywhere. So I think it'd be a fun little experiment. We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
For our audio listeners, if you want to look it up, go to geocaching.com/plan/lists/ B as in bison, M as in multi, E as in event, 9, V as in virtual, D as in difficulty, and F as in fizzy. And that's the list right there for you. So
I suspect we'll see a bunch more of those soon.
Yeah, BME 9VDF. All right.
Yeah, and if somebody's going out there and doing one of their already publishing one, send it to geocachetalk@gmail.com. We want to add it to that list because we think that would be really cool to share with people.
Yeah,
it'll be funny to see if they start popping up and people start asking questions about it.
Yes.
That'd be
and
perfect.
I'll tell you, it was cool being in my VR environment earlier because there was like 3 other people in there, at the same time. So that was kind of very cool to see.
We're continuing to monitor Cache Odyssey. Did you want to mention, John, have you looked lately at the
absolutely. I just wanted to give a shout out to a few folks on here because this week has been so much fun. On Wednesday, I had Captain Math come out, find Cache Odyssey New York. We grabbed some pizza, found some cool caches in the area, and it was just an absolute blast. And then what's cool is then the next day
they're getting a lot of
they're getting like a ton of favorite points, a ton of visits. K-Blast even came up to beautiful Western New York this week too, and it was just awesome catching up with him on that side. But I'll tell you, it just seems like Cache Odyssey is heating up like right now with so many people getting interested, so many people finding, so many people closing out regions. people moving up the leaderboard on that one. It's crazy cool, and a big shout out to Poanne for even getting up there in the lead even further. I think she's above 30 finds right now on the Cache Odyssey leaderboard.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm so jealous. Now this summer I'm going to tear it up.
30,
but I'm just dying watching
states.
people going after all these right now.
Yeah.
It is insane. It is great though.
We're almost at 1,400
get,
favorite points for the series. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Little Greenville. I've got a lot of. Let's see how many fines I've already got. People coming through town, going to the Audie Murphy Museum. I'm at 47 have rolled through already. 47 people have come through here.
Just wait till the Giga. That's going to be
crazy.
It
is. Oh yeah, that one, the Cache Odyssey West Virginia. Oh goodness,
Yeah.
That's going to be incredible. Yeah, get ready, Mark, because it's coming your way. But yeah, we're gonna have we have scheduled. There is a Cache Odyssey there. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
In Morgantown, there's Cache Odyssey West Virginia. So we are going to have Doug McCrae, the inventor of Ms. Pac-Man, the game, will be on here in a few weeks, and he's going to talk about the leaderboard, and he's going to talk about his traveling. But we do have some really good shows coming up. So anyway, all right. Well, I think we're going to now jump into caching in the future, where geocaching meets innovation, part 3. And yes, that's a long title. Part 3. So part 3, I think we've determined we're all the way down in the notes to drones. So drones is obviously, it's now been a few years where they've been accessible to the general public. I mean, there was a time when you couldn't own a drone, even, but we're obviously we've been in commercial land for drones now for several years.
Oh yeah.
And they've become, they're all shapes and sizes. I think pretty much all of the past megas that I've been to, all of the photos are easily being done by the drone because it's just easy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We got a lot of people. Yeah. So what are y'all's thoughts on the use of drones in geocaching nowadays?
So I think there's 2 categories there, and I'll throw this to John, because John's a lot more. John has used drones more recently than me. I have used them, but the one drone that I had was one of the early drones that didn't have like GPS on it, so it just flew away.
Yep,
it was terrible. I had it left for like 2 days. Now I've used them at work also, but not in a while. So John's got a lot more experience. But I want to kind of start the talk with this, saying there's 2 categories of how to use drones: finding and hiding. So I think there's 2 different parts of that, so I want to kind of throw it over to you, but you start, John, and then I want to say there's 2 different parts to this, and I think they're very different categories for drones.
Yeah, absolutely. And some people may not know, I actually teach drones. So it's a really cool thing to be able to teach drones, get people out there who have never flown a drone before. A lot of times, like what we're doing for our first class, we're like in a classroom teaching people how to do it, reviewing like legal requirements, safety requirements, so forth. And then really getting out for like a basic flight session where we're then allowing people to just basically like fly, take off, using automated features, getting them comfortable. And then we also do an advanced one where we're using like a lot of AI features on that one for both like tracking, mapping on that one, and elsewhere too. But the cool thing, really from my experiences, is how many people can use drones, but they first think these are incredibly complex, difficult to use. And even, it's funny, during one of our advanced flying sessions, one of the first things that we do, we have people take a drone off and we say, fly it right at that light pole. And they fly it at the light pole, and then it makes a noise, and then it stops. And we then go, okay, so you see how that just stopped automatically on that one? Now while you're flying it, don't worry about flying it into something, because these are going to stop with all of their advanced sensors and what they're doing. But on that one, looking at it for geocaching, there's a lot of cool things that you can do. I know at work, and I can't remember if I talked about it on the show. One of the things that we were doing was actually getting like drone footage and incorporating it into VR. So part of that is even looking at picture information and then stitching together like a 3D immersive environment around there that you can use in virtual reality. So, on that one, we were actually talking about like, could we actually use that for like hiding clues in that kind of that 3D picture on that side? So imagine
I
if
think
you
you
had
could.
somebody like on a building holding like a certain sign, something else as well too, that then people had to look for on that one. So I think there's a lot of cool things you could do from that photo perspective, on that side, maybe to hide clues in that custom environment. But onto that one, I think, also I agree there's certain things where you could drone deploy caches or do maybe like some aerial geocaching as well too. So like for
Right.
drone deployed caches, think about like you want to do some crazy tree climb or somewhere like way up high. With the drone, you could technically do that. You could deploy something like way up there out of the way on that side. So I mean that would be really cool, but you could also use drones to retrieve certain things as well too. Because onto that with drones, I mean certainly you can add things onto a drone. And you could actually do that for retrieving ones as well too. So just an option on that one side. One of the things I think would be cool for drones is like event caches, where you're using drones to retrieve caches on that side. And granted, it kind of gets into you'd have to like firm up the size of the drone, what it falls under. But I think if people had like recreational flying, certifications onto that one, you could probably get them to do it beforehand. And those like certifications are not that like tricky to get. Most people could actually get that within like 20 minutes with an online test on that side. But I mean, I think you could actually do some really cool event stuff that way. That would be incredibly unique experiences for people. Um, but I know I could keep on talking on this one for the whole show.
Yeah. So that's why I want you to go first. I'll start and go backwards. So here's what I see, like certification at the end, right? People will say you shouldn't have to get a certification to find a geocache. Well, there's scuba caches, so that's out. That logic is out, right? Like you don't get a scuba cache day one if you can't scuba. So there's some caches that are not going to be available for everybody. But kind of working backwards as you talked about it, a tree or a cliff. That's what I immediately think of, like from Colorado, right? Or even an island that's out in the water. You can have, there's drones that'll deploy certain things and can pick up things, but you don't even have to like physically move an object. You talked about physically moving an object. You don't even have to physically move an object, although what's wrong with having a drone pick up or drop off a cache? I don't think there's a problem with that. It's quite possible, right?
Yeah.
Because they have payload drones, right? They can drop something. Like a lot of times you'll see people and they'll drop like army men with the parachutes and stuff.
Right.
But your cache could be in a tennis ball. It's not hard to arrange that, right? And you're dropping it up on something.
Yeah.
So to retrieve the cache, you either have to get there with a drone or you have to get to that place in physical person. But you could also have a marker up there, like either augmented, like you're talking about with VR. So it's an overlay of what's really there. But you could also just put a physical marker there.
Clue.
It could even be a QR code that you have to go there, which you can scan with your drone, right? Once it gets up there. Now, what are the ethics of if you don't have a drone, can you physically get to that place? I don't have much of an issue with that. I really don't. Like, I can't get every cache that exists. The idea that we're talking about is creating future caches that provide more variety. So not everybody's going to be able to get them. Okay. We know that that's a real thing, but I think the most likely thing I see happening first. So if I'm going to guess what happens first out of all the stuff John was talking about, I think it's going to be, because drones, the basic ability, if you're like a basic, not an expert like John, but if you're a basic drone user, the number one thing you can do is put a drone somewhere and see stuff and record it, right? So I think if you can get a clue hidden somewhere that it's hard to get to physically, but the drone can get up there and see it, like on top of a building, which, you have flying drones over a building. That's a little iffy, but on on top of something that you can't physically get to, but you can have an object up there that you can see, then I think that's a pretty cool cache to start off with.
Yeah. Kind of
And
going
it could be anything. It could be a QR code. It could be a set of numbers. It could be, different colored objects that you're answering questions to or whatever. It could be a lot of things, but if the drone can get up there and see it, you get that first clue.
Yeah.
I think that's
absolutely.
the most approachable one that I see. Now, will HQ be okay with it?
T5, right? I mean, T5.
T5, I think.
Takes specialized equipment just like any other T5. I don't see there being an issue. Yeah, Owen from KC mentioned that. Go ahead.
I mean, think about a light post where you put the code on top of the lamp post, the very top
of a pole.
How are you going to get there to see it? Right now,
that would be a great LPC cache right there. You know what I mean?
Would you label that you need a drone, or would you just put it there and let them figure it out?
You know what? I think though, I mean, and coming back to your question, so you can have certain equipment required, like scuba and your rate certification there too. Like boat required, like a boat isn't cheap on that side. A boat is probably going to be more than a drone, just saying on that side.
Yep.
Yes, and you do have like specialized equipment onto that too. Yeah, K-Blast.
Now, post.
We say this, and I'm sure the geocaching ninja Logan, he would probably climb the light post on that one, even if you put it up towards the top of that one.
Yeah, he would. Now he would scale it with bare feet.
Yeah,
and he would do it in about 90 seconds.
Yeah,
because he's insane.
Do you think we'll ever see a drone attribute?
Ooh, interesting, Jim.
I think we should, to tell you the truth. Because I mean,
enough of them are out there, right? Like there has to be a lot of them out there.
Yeah, there's I think would be enough of them out there, and I mean, again, you can have like cross country skis, all this specialized stuff. So why couldn't you have a drone required attribute?
Drone,
This is what I see too, right?
Another gadget geocaches, yeah.
Now, because you can have even, kind of like magnet fishing, right? I'm pretty sure that most drones could support a string hanging off of them with a small magnet on them.
Yeah.
If the container's metal and nothing else is that you're, the ledge or whatever you put it on, it would pick up that container, right? Now, putting it back may be harder. So that's what you got to figure out, right? How can you get them to take it and put it back?
Put it back properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's right. Yeah. Yeah. Amateur gadget geocaches, for our audio listeners, said, I imagine a container with a large wire loop to be snagged and flown down. Drone meets tree fishing.
I can see that. Hook off the drone, go get it. That would be a fun one. That's a 5 terrain 100%, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
would
like you said,
not do a cache like that.
I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun. And I'll tell you, when I see people flying drones for the first time, I just see this really cool experience for them, because when you do something in life you've never done and you're like, that was cool, and I didn't know if I could do it, and I did it, and I feel pretty amazing about it. I see a lot of people do that with flying drones. And I think if you put enough of these out there, I don't see why you wouldn't. I think people would be all about them.
Let me ask you a question then.
Because I was gonna say real quick,
immediately what you jump to is traditional, puzzle, where I go, obviously, if you're that cool. Letterbox. What about, I'm gonna throw a wrinkle in everybody's thought process. What about an earth cache?
Ooh.
What about if you flew a drone to an area you couldn't get to
T5
to answer an earth cache question?
Yeah.
You bring a really cool point on that, Jesse, because I know sometimes when I talk about drones, I do talk about the geological features that you can see with drones that normally you wouldn't, because for some people, especially like on our campus, you look and you think it's flat, and then you take the drone up and you see this like plateau in the distance, that's actually part of like the Allegheny Plateau. So it makes you realize a lot of different things that are out there as well too. So I think there could be a lot of advantages to doing earth caches that way.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's
and y'all made a perfect point, and that is because I know we're gonna hear, and it'll be a lot of clamoring about, oh well, I don't own a drone, I can't do that, and your your example was perfect, which is scuba diving. I don't own any of that equipment, so but people do, and it's approved by geocaching.com. So, I don't see where there's a problem with this. I really don't. I mean,
No.
again, scuba required, drone required. That's that's one of our new attributes.
And I think K-Blast's question is legitimate. Would it be a 5 terrain or 5 difficulty? It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on how you set it up. We talked about a bunch of examples. It depends. You can easily think of one where you can see it from the ground, but you can't get the details or you can't touch it. So it's a 1 difficulty as far as where it is, but getting to it is the 5 terrain. You can see it in the reverse as well, right? Where you can't see it at all. It's easy to get to, or it's easy to grab, but you can't see where it is if it's out of view. So it could go back and forth, right? Terrain difficulty, but I think it's just going to be a matter of people being brave enough to put them out.
Yep.
To make it get popular. It's going to have to get popular because it's going to be just as popular as, cell phones were in the beginning. Everybody cached by, GPS, and then cell phones took over. Drones are going to be super popular. Drones are not going to be as popular as cell phones are now, but they're going to be popular as cell phones were towards the beginning, right? So I think it's a legitimate potential future type.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
Not icon because we know they don't do new icons, but future type.
Next is AI-powered hints and chatbots. You could have an AI-powered puzzle assistants as one example, and we're going to talk about that one. And also,
I say we put a pin in this until we've hit the other ones because we'll talk about AI all night long. Let's come back to that one.
On this one.
You're right. Let's leave that toward the end because we're going to hit AI. We're going to preview.
It's just too much with that
AI for that. All right, let's move on then to RFID tags. We kind of talked about that with. We covered that back.
That's kind of like NFC, right? Like
NFC,
very similar in theory. Not that they are similar, but how would you use them in caching is pretty similar.
Yeah, and I think Chad Bounce has had a lot of really good uses of RFIDs and like his caches too to sequence things together. So like in some instances you're looking for the RFID card, then to use that to open up something else, then to get to another puzzle. So I think there's a lot of
Jim wins the comment for the night.
Connect those.
Jim wins. Look at that.
Jim. Oh, drone caching with higher DT ratings can be another way for people with disabilities to get. Oh, absolutely. You're right.
I love that. I didn't even think of that. How did we not think about that?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love that. So
good job, Jim.
Now we're going to start pushing it.
Yeah.
And so glad you're able to escape the hospital.
Oh gosh, yeah.
In a good sense. Not escape like running for your life, but actually escape properly from a hospital. So I'm glad he's got through that and back home and in rehabbing. Okay, so we'll leave that one. What about blockchain and NFT based logging?
Oh gosh, this is extremely. Whew. All right, John. I want you to start this one again too, same reason.
Okay, so what is it? NFT non-fungible tokens. So making something that's very unique, something very exclusive. So like back in the day, you heard like NFTs for people wanting like kind of like unique artwork that nobody else could have, because it was just exclusively licensed and authorized and basically permissions for one person to use. So on the NFT thing, I think that could be cool. I think Brian mentioned something like that with treasures and thinking like maybe that could be on the trajectory or the roadmap with, treasures getting something that's very exclusive that not all these other people can have. So, for limited digital collectibles, for certain rare things, I think that could be cool, on that side.
I see it as an FTF verification.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
If only one person can get it, and it's over after that.
Yeah.
I see an FTF on that.
So the question, Jesse, is do you think then, because I mean, is the trajectory with FTF still an unofficial part of the game, or does at some point then it becomes an official part of the game?
I think it's unofficial because there's no way to verify it right now. You can split FTFs, you can claim FTF at any time. There's no verification of it because there's many reasons why, and we all know that, right? We've talked about FTFs ad nauseum, but
Yeah.
how do you know who gets it in that day? How do you know? You could go out there and switch the log out. You've seen, there's all kinds of stuff you could do to like mess with FTF. But if they had some way like NFT to confirm and verify that one person got it first, I think it could then become an official part of the game. Right now, it's so, it's like why they changed challenges before. Name it after my cat. Find stuff that's named after my cat and shut up. Or find stuff that's near this city. Near is not an actual trackable thing, right? Like,
Right.
I don't blame them for not having FTF as an official part now, because you can't. There's so many ways to mess with that. You can't really track it, right? So I think NFT would be the only way they would ever consider doing that as an official part of the game. Not the only way. It is a way they consider doing it. Or a scan that happens first or something else like that, right? Like there's got to be some technology where they can confirm that somebody got FTF and not just logging it online. Like anybody can go and log something online and never found it. Like to verify that they were there first. So that would be the only way I could see them even entertaining FTF at all.
And they are, since for people that don't really or not understand, is that NFTs, the way NFTs work is you own that digital item. You own it. In fact, I don't think it's that big anymore. It was big when they first sort of came out, and that was in the sports card world. So, and it's still there, but you can own like sort of like you mentioned paintings, but paintings is one of them. Basketball cards, for example, is an example. You can own, card number 4 of LeBron James is, this one particular sports card, and no one else can ever own that. I mean, you can trade it or you can sell it or whatever, but so that is one item that could, in theory, you could create memorabilia, right?
And to me,
Mega.
though, and I hear you, Gary. I mean, to me, this is just so intriguing because like Brian called this out, during Treasures as a what if,
Mm-hmm.
So on that one, was that just a general thought, or is that on the HQ roadmap?
Yeah.
And that's the part that kind of intrigues me.
I hope so, because we don't really have time to get into this now, but we're talking about Treasures, right?
Yeah.
By the way, how are y'all doing in your Treasures?
I got to be honest. I mean, where it is right now, it's like I know I'm going to get them, so I'm not really like too motivated to just go out to get them right now, because I mean, it just seems like I'm going to get it anyway at some point. So I don't know. For me, it's not giving me extra motivation, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or aligns with your experience.
It's zero now. Zero now. As a matter of fact, I would have to change my way of caching because you can only get up to a 1.5. So all the caches I found so far don't qualify because they're the difficulty too high. The potential of them sounds awesome. There's nothing for experienced cachers yet. That's what I'll say.
Right.
But I'm still holding out hope, just like we're talking about, that he has a lot. It's not fair to say he. They have a lot planned for the future of Treasures. I still think Treasure is going to be a future digital thing that they can do some good stuff with. Obviously, right now it's for like super basic. Here's how it works. It's lame right now. If that's all, if it stays what it is right now, it's super lame. I mean, like embarrassingly lame. But I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be, whether it's NFTs or whatever else, I think they're going to incorporate some cool stuff to it.
Yeah.
Right now, it's embarrassing. It'd be another treasure, another souvenir
I
that
think
nobody
they're
cares
just
about.
testing the proof of concept right now. You know what I mean? So I think
that's what I believe, 100%.
The switch, and they're saying like, okay, we're setting very basic bar to get these off, to ensure the mechanism's working, to get people familiar with it, and then we're going to.
And I may just be optimistic. I may just be a sucker, but I believe they have something planned cool for it. I really do believe they have something planned cool for it. Way better than souvenirs, because those are kind of old now. And some people go after them, some people don't. Some people don't care. But I think there's these collections and these treasures, I think, have the potential to be something really cool. Let's hope that, like what we're talking about now, in the future, we're like, oh crap, these are neat. Changes how I cache, right?
Yeah.
Right now, obviously, proof of concept, lame for advanced cachers, but maybe good for younger cachers. That's kind of cool. So holding out hope. Hopefully you're right, John. He was hinting at something big. I just had to put that out there, but yes.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Smartwatches and wearable tech. What are our thoughts on smartwatches?
I want to add one more thing with that. Smartwatches, wearable tech, and integration in Apple CarPlay. Can I throw that in there too?
Yes.
Because I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Like I've got the Apple Watch. Now I've got Apple Watch without a number. Mine's not even 2, 3, nothing. It's Apple Watch, like the original Apple Watch. And that is not great. And Nick will say that. There's not a lot to do on the watch yet, right? He put it on there. It's neat. There's not a lot to do. It's kind of fun to use. However, and I think it comes into this, wearable tech, even though it's not. The integration in our other technology that surrounds our kind of daily world, how cool is it going to be? I cannot wait for Apple CarPlay cashly on my dashboard of my Jeep. I'm super excited about that. I hope it's awesome.
It's coming soon.
Now, that's that side of it. I know that's not wearable tech, but I think it goes in that same category because it's like normal technology that already exists that we use every day, right? So, wearable tech, the way I see it, and I'll punt it over to John after that. We have watches, but I don't think that's going to be much. I think the glasses, I'm still saying the glasses within the next 5 years are going to be extremely common. They're coming out everywhere. You see the things where people can identify stuff on the glasses already. AI's being included in them. Why wouldn't geocache be included in the glasses? That is actually something we can use, right? So what do you think, John?
Yeah, so I think a few things. I mean, I think like kind of like I you know, and you got to forgive me with this, Jesse. I imagine with some of this stuff, reverse where it goes. And you got to bear with me for a second. Got to bear with me, man.
Kick him out. Where's that button?
No, you got to bear with me. Don't kick me out of this one.
I'll bear with you for a minute.
But imagine
you wouldn't let me talk about it, so I'm not kicking him out.
Yeah, short leash. Go ahead.
But imagine a reverse where it goes situation, but with feedback on your smartwatch. So you're getting some unique vibrations the closer you're getting to a cache on that one.
Okay.
Nobody can see it. It's something where it's like very heavy stealth required on that one.
Or you're not looking at your phone. Or glasses as well. I consider both, right?
Let's go with glasses in a couple minutes. But on this one, you have your watch. It's giving you some sort of like vibration clue or some sort of like haptic feedback clue on that one and where you're going on that side.
Like a hotter, colder type thing.
Yeah. I think that could be kind of cool.
Yeah,
on that one,
like a true reverse where I go, not the fake reverse where.
Yes, correct. Yes. Okay,
correct.
Okay.
But not like you're putting in those 3 codes into some cracker and it's giving you the coordinates and you're just going there. Yeah. You're not even doing it. But yeah, something like a true one, and I think that could be kind of cool on that side. I could also see that being kind of cool with some like AR glasses on there as well too. You know, so if it's some sort of like hot or cold thing, or you know, having an overlay. I know in our Geocache Talk patron group today, you know, big shout out to TWH Ryder. She put in, you know, something basically saying like how I think she said like she did like a ghost-like experience with AR, you know, and that was like still available on that side. But just think about that with some AR smart glasses, you know, as well too. And if you could like tie that to certain things, because like, let's suppose you're in a library and you're looking for a haunted book and you're going through and you're pulling the books off and you're flipping it open, and then you hit the correct one and your glasses like does some video cue like in front of you, does some sort of story in front of you.
You know, the glasses now will do sound as well, right? So it could whisper in your ear what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of cool, right? So, I mean, you get that right physical clue, you do that, you then have some sort of additional experience with that. I mean, that could be kind of neat, you know, because imagine if you're going around someplace and you have to find the clue in each room. And then after you correctly identify that through your AR glasses, it gives you that unique experience.
So how do you see that implemented then? Okay, so let's say that we're a couple years ahead. Glasses are common. Let's assume that they have AI and speakers in them and potential AR as well.
Yeah.
How do you see that implemented? Obviously, it's a Wherigo, without a doubt, but it's location based and you can trigger sounds, right? What other cache type can you do that with? Nothing. So do you see that like walking through the library, you get to a certain location, it triggers a sound, tells you to look for a book on the shelf that you're at. You have to find it, read the code off of it, maybe enter the code to keep going. That could be a fun experience.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think too, I mean, right now, right? So when we're talking about AR, you can do AR based upon a GPS trigger. So you're actually at one location, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're at those coordinates, something happens because of that. You can also do augmented reality from a marker based situation. Marker based meaning it could be like a QR code on there.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that it sees an image or sees an object that it detects. And then
Mm-hmm.
once it successfully detects that, then it enables, certain content or things to happen, from there. So I think on this one, I mean, you could do a combination in a way. It could be like a GPS based augmented reality experience combined with a marker based augmented reality. Because I think if you were to do that, you could have like your start location and then you could like search for certain clues on there as well too. So could you do that with a smartphone right now? I think you could.
No, I
Um,
think you could.
but I think with AR glasses though, that kind of creates a really cool experience where I think it may be a lot more immersive on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think like as you're hearing that sound directly closer to your ears on that one,
Yeah.
you're seeing that overlay. I think, and not to say, I mean, I don't really want to say it's like virtual reality because I mean, virtual reality is a lot more immersive.
Yeah.
But I think if you had your hands to then be able to, do certain things on that one to get clues and everything else, I think that could be cool. Um, with haptic feedback as well too. It's interesting because you can like customize sensors. Like the body has
Mm-hmm.
unique frequencies. So if you tap here and if you have like a sensor somewhere else, you can map it to you're tapping here versus tapping here and doing some other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could tap and or map some very unique movements to some of that as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I don't know. There's just so much potential on that side for such a cool experience to go to a neat location and then to really tie in. But I think of a lot of these too, it's just like the element of storytelling is can just be so much more engaging,
Yeah.
because like certain times, like when you read a cache description and it's trying to do that storytelling, immersing yourself in a character, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you get immersed to it, but I'm going to say I think you get a lot more immersed into it with that AR type of experience, with that mixture of GPS based triggers and then marker based triggers.
Do you
Well,
think we
like
could
the
potentially meld glasses and Wherigo? Because Wherigo is the only geolocation based multimedia cache type we have.
Man, I'd say Jesse, like in Nick we trust. If Nick can do it, man, I think there's
Yeah.
a future for it.
yeah.
I'm just thinking there's the potential there, right? Because no other cache type really allows you to add media on the fly based on a location that you are.
Yeah,
Now, granted, Wherigo is very rudimentary, but maybe that's how they update it to be, wearable tech compatible.
well, and I think though, even with the Adventure Lab platform, if they had a way, because I don't think anymore you can go to a location and have content playing. I think the content, if you do a video or anything, has to be afterwards for any sort of like linking of content. Am I
For
correct on
Adventure
that
Lab or
one?
Wherigo?
Yeah, Adventure Labs.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, Adventure Lab, you also have to have a cell phone signal. Wherigo, you don't.
oh, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true
so you
because
can
then you're
download the
actually
cartridge ahead
downloading
of
the
time and
cartridge.
play it as you go. But
That's a good point.
yeah,
That's a real good
so
I
point.
could see
they could put
this.
all three of them, combine all three of them. I think.
Yeah.
Yep. Hang on. I can see where this could be used for in a mega, like we did with we had the events for the escape room in Memphis, but similar to what we used where Susan and I went to the Shenanigans Entertainment Center, and you put on the thing I told you all about, where you put the helmet on, and you've
Mm-hmm.
got and each person is doing sort of their own. Which in this case, for a mega, you can have them all sort of set up the same, in a sense, same way,
Yeah.
where you can do geocaching in a sense because that's sort of outside the realm. I mean, as far as a regular cache, like you said, Jesse, you can do a lot with where I goes, and so I'm thinking, I don't know, could you do something like, well, you're talking about Adventure Labs. Is there no? Could you get away with that for Adventure Labs?
Get away with what?
Getting away with the whole, goggles or
I don't think currently you'd require them to do that. No.
right.
Yeah, I don't think I
No.
agree.
Now, it doesn't mean that you
there's
couldn't
yeah,
one day do
I'm
that,
sorry,
but I think in the current platform you couldn't do it.
because of the fact there's no difficulty in terrain values for Adventure Labs. Is that
Well, and it's the platform is really a separate platform, right? The Adventure Lab. It's go to a location, answer a question, and you're not
yeah,
supposed to put anything physical in the location. And
Right.
it doesn't mean that it couldn't be adapted to that, but I
yeah,
don't think you could mix it currently.
makes sense.
But
Yeah,
again, we're talking about the future, right?
yeah. I'd like to see them adapt it, because if you could have some linkable content at a certain location to enable some unique things like AR, I think that would be cool,
Yeah, because you can add video questions now, right? You can add video. Can't you add video? I know you can add video response afterwards.
Yeah, I think the videos are afterwards. I don't think the videos are before. I think that was a recent change with linked content.
Okay.
If
Couldn't you
chat
before?
room, if
Well, you
anybody
could
knows, I'm
before
wrong,
do a
please let
video
me know.
question because I did one like that before. Did they change it where they took that out from the question?
I think they may have.
Okay,
Hmm.
because one of my first labs, it was in a library, and because my daughter and I did them together. The questions
Yeah, I
had
remember
the
that
answers
one.
came from the video and the location. So you had to get one part of the answer from the video and one part of the answer from the location you're at. So they must have changed that.
Yeah, I think they may have. We'll have to double check, but I think they may have.
Hmm.
All right, a couple more. We're starting. Our time is again
I know. We ran out.
slowly running out. We can always
Just keep going. We got it.
We can always visit this down the road, but we're wrapping up this series on geocaching meets innovation. We're on part 3. So, what about solar powered and IoT connected caches?
I think that is kind of already a thing, and I'll hit the first half if John wants to hit the second half. But solar powered, I know Bounce and many other people that are doing Arduino type things and things in the field that are powered caches, gadget caches. Some people are using solar panels to power what they've got. Now that has to be pretty low battery or low electricity requirement, right? But I think that's already existing. Now, how that will play into the future, that's interesting to think about. But I think there are some solar panel type style caches out there now that are gadget style caches.
Yeah, and even bounce, and it's not part of the puzzle. It's a red herring on the Sasquatch monitoring station. He put a solar panel on that one with a battery to give it a red flashing light on that side. So it makes it seem like it's a camera. It makes it seem like it's a sensor, but it doesn't really do anything besides having.
But it could be a
cool
timed
effect.
flashing light that gives you Morse code or a code or something.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, you could be. I mean, the IoT and the smart ones. I mean, I kind of, I think that could be cool because I mean, just a sense of, if you have an object and if you're developing some sort of narrative, like let's suppose, like, I don't know, it's some Indiana Jones type thing, and you have this really cool archaeological object that you have to bring to this location, and something happens when you do that. I mean, I think that could be a cool kind of storytelling thing for like a multi-cache or something like that too, on that front. So I think that could be fun because I don't know, just another immersive, I think, element to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking even like if you know how objects are just in public and in your house and everything else nowadays, many things are connected.
Yeah.
Those things, quite often, when you open your phone and look for Wi-Fi in the area, you'll see like refrigerator, TV, things like that.
Yep.
many of those things can be renamed.
Yeah.
Those can also be renamed to coordinates, clues, all kinds of things. So there's a lot of things that can be adjusted off what currently exists to give clues, or even if it's just Samsung TV 97324. Okay, you open it up, 97324, you adapt that into your puzzle. You can do that in public. If you stand outside a business, sometimes their printers have names on them, and you can get that, you can hit a lot of things in public. And I haven't seen a puzzle like that was using something existing. I've seen people use like their own Wi-Fi and rename it coordinates and stuff, but I haven't seen somebody be outside of business and go, oh, this is printer 3276. Go find the number that's associated with the printer when you stand outside the business. And maybe that could be your lock clue. That could be your coordinates. That could be what you put in a puzzle. So I think there's a lot of things that exist out there that are already existing that we don't have to touch, that you can incorporate into puzzle just because they put off a signal.
Cool. I love it. All right. So let's wrap up with, we'll just call it a preview because it's really it's a show on its own, but we want to kind of touch on it, which is AI. We use AI for some of our planning for the network, but what are some things that come to mind when we think about AI in geocaching?
Everything.
There's a lot.
And I think we're going to have a full show on this coming up, but I think the first concern is just like, and John will echo this, there's a concern right now in education that AI is going to ruin education, right? You can't, people are going to cheat. They're never going to be able to write essays. They're never going to be able to do anything. Well, just like that is not true. The game is going to adapt to the technology that's out there, right? You could say that cell phones ruin geocaching. I need to use my 4-pound GPS brick that's ancient technology. Phones are ruining the game. AI is going to enhance the game. I will say that in every aspect of geocaching, AI is going to be used. Other than, and it will be eventually too, but initially other than the finding of the cache. And now when you have glasses in AI, you may be able to use it to help spot stuff, right? But just in the current technology, I think AI can be used and just to help improve every bit of the game. And we can talk about that coming up, but I'll just throw one thing out that I use it for, and we can all talk about the rest of it now or later or whatever else. But I have been focusing on lately and I haven't done it every single time, and I'm just dabbling into it. But when I find a geocache, I'm using AI to help me write a fun log to go with it. And even when and I'll give it a basic story, and then it'll help me take that log and make it more fun. And I'll say, here's what I did, make a more fun log with this. And it'll take my words and kind of recraft them or whatever. And sometimes I'll say, make it silly or make it exciting, dramatic, just to be able to add a little bit more to my log. I'm trying to add more. I'm trying to up my logging game. Right. And we get lazy a lot of times. And if we're finding tons of caches, it's hard to do, but I haven't been finding tons of caches at one time lately. So I've been able to put fun cache logs, and I've gotten some response back from people. They're like, that was hilarious. Obviously it's way more than normally they get on the cache log. And I'll even do I'll have AI generate an image sometime to go with my pictures that I take. Because sometimes there's hard to take a picture there because it'll be a spoiler, right? But I'll do a funny kind of to go along with the log. Well, I think that adds something to the game for the cache owner. The ones that I've done it so far, I've heard back from the cache owners, and they're like, that was hilarious. Thank you for doing that. That brightened my day, right? They got a good log. So I'm just going to throw that out there right now for the very, very tip of the iceberg of where I'm using AI in geocaching right now. Because we need a whole show to help people kind of think of where they could use it in their game. And I'll cut mine right there.
Yeah, and I like what you're saying, Jesse, because on that one, I think for us, we have to reward great caches. We have to encourage good cache hiders to hide more caches. And let's face it, on that one, could people write a TFTC? Yeah, absolutely could, but that's kind of like a slap in the face sometimes for a creative cache hider, on that one when somebody's putting a lot of hours into it. So, can certainly somebody use AI then to help, articulate just such a good quality experience for what they had and help expand that and do that in a way. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And in some ways it's funny because with AI sometimes I think like back in the day, at work, you'd write something with a friend or you'd write something and be like, "Hey buddy, can you look at this? See what I'm doing?" And
Yeah.
they give you some hints and they give you some things and it'd help your writing in certain ways on that one. So I think that's a good example of a good way to help provide motivation to good, cache hiders out there. I think, when we're looking at AI, I mean, certainly, that's a great example of a finder using it on that side.
Mhm.
Certainly for the hider, there's many different applications onto that side for you to be creative, to help
Mhm.
your game, even to produce certain content to make it an experience. Because let's face it, as cache hiders, it's not like we probably like have graphic artists that we can say like, "Hey, I'm doing
Mhm.
this really cool cache. Graphic artist friend, can you help me out with this?"
Yeah.
So for certain people using AI to kind of like help create that better experience for people, in a way that's, you're not like publishing an academic paper, you're just creating a cool experience for others on that one in geocaching. It's a cool way to do that one for sure. But yeah, I agree. There's just so many different applications out there for AI and geocaching from both that finder, hider perspective, and just brainstorming perspective too on there too. Yeah, instruct too. Yeah, I hear you. It needs to work on their grammar, and it's interesting because and I can't remember. I think it was somebody doing interviewing like Stephen Wolfram, and he was saying like 80% of what AI puts out is generally correct, but it's not like 100% correct by any
Mhm.
means. So by no means should we actually take exactly what it puts out and use it.
No. No, for sure not.
Because also on that point, AI is very good sometimes at receiving a general or vague question, but then giving an incredibly specific, detailed response back, which means
Yeah.
that may not be aligned with your general or vague
Right, right.
question that you asked originally too. So
But I think like any other tool, right? You can use it to enhance all aspects, hiding, finding, all that kind of stuff. But it's a tool. It's not a replacement for a
Yeah.
human. It's just like if you're typing your email, most email services now, it'll predictive typing, right? It'll say what you think you might be saying ahead of time as you write it. That might be what you're thinking. It might be totally off. You don't just blindly hit spacebar and skip let it write your email for you. That would be terrible. Same thing with writing logs. Like I put in my details and I say a lot of times what I'll say is make this, one, check it for grammar and make it, because the grammar's not always perfect. Check it for misspellings. Make it funny. Make it more dramatic. So it'll take my words and either expand on them or change a little bit. Now, a lot of times, well, I know every time I'll take what it's got and I'll alter it a little bit before I put it in a cache log, right? I don't think if ever I've ever taken exactly what AI said and just plugged and played, right? That's cut and paste is not it's always going to be about like 90 to 95% of what you need. It's never going to be 100%. I guess it could be, but it's generally not going to be. You have to use it as a tool, just like you would anything else, right? Like any of the things we talked about before. If you're doing a puzzle cache, there's tons of sites that'll help you narrow down ways to solve that puzzle. But you don't want it to automatically do everything for you. You want it to enhance what you're doing to make it more fun. So I think that's when we talk about it. I think there's ways to use AI to enhance your geocaching, but of course, there's people that are going to use it to cheat. But you can cheat now if you want to, but that's stupid. Why would you do that? That ruins your game. That doesn't make it better. So
You could tweak it too with Rick saying my logs will always be the crazy thoughts in my head. So you could
yeah,
maybe keep that part of your AI log,
absolutely.
put your own thing in there. And then this is not true, Brian K Blast. Now I know that I can get a cool log on any of my
Yeah,
caches
all
from
his will just say
Microsoft.
TFTC anyway, so it won't be it won't be
That's
AI.
all. That's
It'll
all
just say
he's getting.
TFTC. I might just
Yeah,
say
he's not
plus
getting.
one on his. Plus one,
Yeah,
Cash
just put plus
Odyssey.
one on
and
Yeah.
Cache Odyssey.
part of me
Cache Odyssey,
would wish
Ohio.
part of me
Plus
would
one.
wish like HQ like would add an AI feature. So if somebody types in TFTC, it then like what you were saying, Jesse, for like the autocorrect and the spelling says like, do you mean this
Yeah.
or something like that?
I'm pretty sure you meant to write a better log.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, gosh, that's so true. So, all right. Well, let's wrap up. Some final thoughts. So I'll go first since y'all kind of did most of the technology part here tonight. So I will mention one thing, just FYI, because they're going, but we want to go ahead and finish selling them because we want to get we want to be able to purchase some more to provide for you folks, and that is the Jasmer coins. And they're available at geocachetalk.com/shop. But they are available. Here's one. So they're really cool. And we're running out of the Loop 2s. So there's Loop 2. So I think they're fabulous.
Oh yeah.
They're really cool. They're big, gigantor coins, and they're.
Can't wait to have
we
a
talked
whole
about
set of 4 one day.
Yeah, and there's a whole thing. Oh, good. It's on the. These do have the ones I'm holding do have the trackable. They're on the edge, so I don't have to worry about showing that. But these are beefy. I mean, let me find it. Let me grab a path tag so you can get an idea. Path tag. Come here, path tag. Oh well. They're in my box. So anyway, they're huge, big old coins, giant.
Yeah, they're big.
They're awesome. And the backs are really cool. So definitely pick you up. Loops 1 and Loop 2. Loop 3 we're out of. Loop 4 is in non-production, but it's in potential production. Eventually, we'll do a Loop 4 coin. A lot of people are asking for a loop.
We'll have a lot of people that'll be more likely to be qualified for that in the future, but that's a future podcast to talk about.
I was.
We may even have a group picture of those people, but
exactly, we'll have to do that. But I got plenty of Loop 1s, so but they're available. They're on the shop, and I've actually shipped them all the way to Australia. So our international folks that love the Geocache Talk Network, you are more than welcome to purchase, and all of our 25, 28 countries we've got going right now. So you're more than welcome to purchase, and we will ship them to you really anywhere in the world. So that's my final thought tonight. So over to you guys.
I'll go and let John close it out for tonight, since he's going to be the star coming up soon anyway with his Waymark talk. So
right. Pizza talk.
I think this is the third one we've done, but and I think the follow up to this is we didn't get to touch AI tonight. I think AI is going to be a whole show coming up because it's so big, and we're talking about a high tech game, right? So we have to talk about the most high tech stuff. We kind of covered a lot of things that are coming up, and I think the only way to really make these things like with John, he decided he wanted to invent, as part of this, he invented another type of cache. I think push these new technologies, and once they get accepted, they become part of the game, right? Like they're just in theory. We talked about a lot of theory, but I think people can do a lot of these now, drones and VR and some other things like that. And if you get it out there, they start becoming caches, and people like them. More and more put out, and they're out more and more, like inner caches or whatever else. They were kind of around for a while, mob caches.
Mob caches.
If they become popular, they'll become a common thing. HQ will be used to them, and they could potentially become an attribute, a type, or just a common cache that's out there and a fun new addition to the game. So I would say embrace what it is, try it. The worst that can happen is you try it and it doesn't get published, right? Okay, then you alter it somehow. But at least you try to put something creative out there. Maybe it doesn't catch on and you have the only one around. Okay, that's unique. That's something fun. So I would say embrace some of this new stuff, add it into your game. Just give yourself something creative to put out there. If it's even short-lived, it's still fun for a little while. So try these new things. Don't just stick to the old. Let's see what we can push into the future.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I agree. And I mean, the thing that I think is so cool, I mean, even looking at everybody we have in the chat room right now, and how many people created some very cool and unique comments out there and the technologies that they did. I know, when K-Blast was in town, like we were talking, and he was saying back to, the original US Gigastock, how he at that time, helped put out the original AR cache, out there. And it's cool. It starts with an idea, it starts with some conversations, and then people do some cool things. So I think, from a lot of the discussions that we've had tonight and the ideas thrown out there, there's a lot of great ideas out there in the geocaching community and a lot of very talented, creative people. So if you have an idea based upon something we've talked about or something else, I mean, take it, be creative, put it out there. Just to think the game, I mean, started as traditionals, and it's morphed into all these different types and everything else. So the game's, still going, it's still evolving. But as a community-based game, it depends upon the community to make those innovations and to do it. So, I think my call is just be creative, put it out there. And, onto that, like the VR cache that we developed, as a result from talking about the show, if anybody's interested, please let us know. We'd love to get more of those out there, and certainly we'll work with the patrons in order to do that. But, at the same time, tune in to Pizza Talk, the debut on Tuesday. It's going to be amazing. And Jim, we're going to talk about a lot of different topics on there, my friend. And, the beauty is if the debut goes well, we're going to see a lot more Pizza Talk in the future on that one.
Also, could you preview for us next Sunday? What are without spilling too many beans, what are we doing for Cache Madness this year? So we did this last year. So go ahead.
So Cache Madness this year, the question is, what event are you most excited for this coming year? So this year we have block parties, we have a Giga, we have a Mega out there. So we're reaching out to ask the question to the community, what event are you most excited about? Last year we did cache event types, and guess what? Mystery won, believe it or not. But there was a lot of type polls on that, a lot of good ones. But I think for a lot of people for this year, it's going to be very interesting to see what event is the community most excited about on that side. And oh man, guys, I just got to share with you.
And how can people participate?
Yeah, and how can people participate on that side too? So yeah. So I think it's going to be an awesome blast.
How can they participate?
We're going to be sending out information onto that one tomorrow on people for participating on that side. So as you're going through,
so
put out there, which ones you're most excited about, and then go from there. And then guys, changing topics quick. There's a new Earth cache in my area, believe it or not.
Oh my gosh!
Wow,
it's by some Yahoo
FTF on an Earth cache.
FTF on an Earth cache. I'm gonna put this guy in the chat right now for anybody that wants to try to FTF it.
Why haven't you gone for it?
Go for it. Why don't you go do it?
I don't think I can on this one.
Oh, see how it is.
Too much snow on the ground?
Well, it could be some other issues. Just saying.
Okay.
Pesky rules.
Technicalities.
All right.
So
sweet.
Hold on.
All right.
If I have a drone, can I take my drone from my house if I live within 2 miles of it and fly it over there and look at it? And
does it
come back
count?
home and claim it?
Absolutely.
You could try.
Okay, no. Can the drone sign a log?
There's no log on Earth cache.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
An optional picture.
I was thinking of a regular.
Drones can take photos, can't they?
They can.
Okay, so are you inventing a new thing, drone Earth caching?
I think it should. Look, first of all, whoever invents the first drone Earth cache, we're going to have them on the show. So all these nuts that are in here, we're all a collection of nuts, right? Without a doubt.
Right.
We're talking about geocaching on a Sunday night. We're a collection of nuts. Who's going to be the first nut to invent drone geocaching? Not drone geocaching, drone Earth caching. Sorry. Drone Earth caching. You get a whole hour show. We'll bring you on. You can talk about whatever you want.
This sounds like a new show, Drone Earth Cache Talk.
That's right. Right after Waymark Talk, we'll have that one on. But okay.
Well, you can
so you got a full invite. Whoever's the first one that gets one published has to be published. A drone Earth cache.
In theory, then also, and we don't have time for this, but could you not use a submersible that you control? That's basically like a drone underwater, where people can't go. You physically can't go to it. Like you physically can't get there. But if you have a small enough submersible that could fly into like a area and take a picture or whatever and come back, you could it could then describe what's in the.
I mean, in theory, it could happen, right? If you set it up the right way.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready. Okay. I'm excited to see.
All right, good deal. Well,
we joke, but the group of nuts that we all talk to, we have some smart people that we talk to regularly, right? They can figure this out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. All right. Good show, guys. Looking forward Tuesday to Waymark Talk, John. Appreciate that.
No, Pizza Talk, Gary. Pizza.
Oh, sorry. It's Pizza Talk? Oh.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm kidding. All right. Good night, everybody.
Okay. Good night.
May your finds be many and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Hey, Geocache Talk Network fans. If you love what we do and want to support the shows, we've got 2 great ways to help keep the adventure going. You can join us on Patreon at patreon.com/geocachetalk for exclusive perks. Or if you prefer a one-time boost, buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/geocachetalknetwork. Every bit of support helps us bring you more geocaching fun, stories, or shows. So whether it's a membership or a coffee, we appreciate you being part of making the Geocache Talk Network operate. Thanks, and happy caching.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.